Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for February 3, 2022, the Opinion Release Edition. We begin with that story from the FCPA Compliance and Ethics Blog. Yes, first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News about the first opinion release of 2022. And it dealt with extortion payments, bribery and corruption, corrupt intent, and obtaining or retaining business. A company had a ship in foreign waters. The ship was arrested by the country in question, and they demanded $150,000 to payment for the release of the jailed captain and the ship and crew. The Department of Justice found that the payment of that amount, even without proper documentation, was not illegal under the FCPA because there was no corrupt intent to obtain or retain business. So check out the FCPA Compliance and Ethics Blog for a full analysis and, of course, a link to the opinion release. Next up, AI could cut hiring biases. Well, maybe not, but Richard Vandeford, writing in the Wall Street Journal Risk and Compliance Journals, says that it's possible, and it could also help companies find more workers. AI has been one of the great reasons for the Great Resignation, as it screens out people because of faulty algorithms. So it's going to be interesting to see if companies can make AI have a comeback. Next up, from another first-time contributor to the FCPA, the Daily Compliance News, the Nikkei Asia finds that Indonesia is an unlikely standout in the fight against corruption. Rather amazingly, Indonesia stood out from the other countries in Southeast Asia in the fight against bribery and corruption. This is not typically something we have seen from Indonesia, but it's certainly welcome. And finally, Jeffrey Zucker has resigned from CNN because of his affair with a co-worker, but that affair was not disclosed. This is part of the company's overall evaluation of its coverage of Andrew Cuomo. Apparently, questions were asked of senior management, including the CEO, whether they had had an affair with anyone else. It turns out that this affair had been going on for quite some time, but Zucker did not disclose it as he was required to do so. So he has resigned from CNN in this critical time where Discovery has purchased CNN and other properties from Warner Media, and CNN is frankly in turmoil over this. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.